At a time when Hollywood needs every friend it can find, it's doing the exact opposite, slamming the door on those who would love it more if they just made good movies again. Leonardo Dicaprio is the latest to bring forth a major flop, losing perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars with the kind of script slop you can't believe, attacking conservatives literally on screen. Today we'll tell you why Hollywood is doomed, and we've got the latest info right now. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Pro Channel, where we continue to give you the news you need to know. And lest you say, oh no, it's another negative story, folks. It is not that. Not for a bit. Not for a minute. Because you are winning it. What do I mean? I mean that this latest movie where it's all about anti-FA, let me say it again, anti-FA. You all understand what I'm trying to say? This is a movie that celebrates that kind of group. It's failed. There's no market for it. It's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a glorious piece of news that Hollywood feels the blues every time they try to push this revolting stuff on America. We're going to dive into the details and what it means. Click the like button, drop a comment, let us know, did you see the film? If so, what did you think? And don't blink, folks. Here comes the news your way. Rotten Tomatoes is out, and they've got a report on the box office. Taylor Swift dominates with 33 million. Who ever heard of dominating with 33 million? Who ever heard of that? Well, listen, we're not here to rain on T Swift's parade, and we're not here to make fun of The Rock with not a smashing success. But what we are here to talk about is one battle after another, the Leonardo Dicaprio movie. And why are we talking about it again? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they are desperate for you to believe it's a win. Let's talk about it. Here's what it says out of Rotten Tomatoes, and they're not the only ones trying to say this. Well, one thing is official. In 10 days, one battle after another has already become Paul Thomas Anderson's highest grossing domestic release. Well, yippee-ki-yay. Passing There Will Be Blood's $40.2 million. After a sophomore return of $11.1 million, his nearly universally praised film is up to $42.7 million domestic.
Nearly universally praised.
Nearly. One battle has also passed Blood's global tally, okay? It talks about Flower Moon had $40.9 million in the bank after 10 days, but it also took a 59.9%, blah, 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 blah. Here's what you need to know. This movie cost a lot of money to make. It cost a lot of money to make.
Yep.
And it is a left-leaning dream come true. It's what Hollywood wants you to believe is really good. And, well, they're struggle busing. The numbers has this. 101 million. It just scraped by $100 million at the worldwide box office. If it was an indie film, then okay. But it's not. And it's at $100 million. Why is that a problem? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we go to the awardsdaily.com, can one battle after another break even? Does it even matter? This is by Sasha Stone, and this is where we get to the meat and the potatoes of what they're talking about in Hollyweird. It says this weekend, Paul Thomas Anderson's one battle after another crossed the $100 million mark at the global box office, picking up $58 million internationally. Bada bing, bada boom. It says that had the film cost around $50 million, it would be in a great position to win Best Picture. It cost between $130 to $150 million. If it won, it would be the second highest budget film to win since Titanic. Does that even matter? First of all, before we get to the award situation, we need to say that this movie likely cost $150 million for production, not marketing. So if you include marketing, it's probably up to $200. Therefore, it likely needs about $400 to break even. After 2 weeks, it's at $100 million, barely. Now, it says it didn't entirely bomb. And it looks like it'll do a little better than Killers of the Flower Moon. This movie, Lou, they wanted this movie to do big numbers. And it hasn't. Oops. They put Leonardo DiCaprio in it. They got Sean Penn. This was going to be the big one, and it was going to stick it to all of those conservatives out there, and it was going to prove that there's a market, a huge market for this kind of stuff, and it was going to win awards and all that kind of thing. Lou, it's not happening.
At least Apple had the sense to pull theirs before they ever put it up, right? That Jessica Chastain.
Yes.
I tell you what, I saw Flower Moon because they sent me a screener. And aside from all the other things wrong with it, it was just boring. This one sounds like it's nasty from everything I've read. So Nasty winning slightly over boring, I guess, is something, but not much.
Well, it plays out a very vicious dream that, especially in light of the national tragedy, is inappropriate. And that is the dream of harming those you disagree with politically. In this case, this is from the viewpoint of the left, being the victors. And, here's the problem. There's no market for this. And so now, because they spent so much money on it, and because it's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, almost certainly, the problem for them is now they're trying to make this be an award winner, but they have a hard time giving awards to movies that are colossal failures. Like, if it's a break even, whatever. If it loses some, it's okay. But colossal failures, that's harder to do. That's why Rachel Zegler is not getting any awards for Snow White. If it had made a lot of money, she'd be getting some sort of, singing award for the original songs in Snow White. That didn't happen. Kevin, what do you make of this one battle after another? And I guess the fact that there is no market whatsoever for these kinds of films, even if Hollywood wishes it was untrue.
It's interesting. So I knew this movie was coming up, but I know absolutely nothing about it. I didn't even know that it dropped, and we're 10 days in, and it's only at 100 million. That in and to itself has told you everything you need to know. No one cares about this movie. And some of this is I do think that Hollywood has forgotten to market movies to men. Not that from the sounds of this, it doesn't sound like any actual red-blooded man is going to want anything to do with this movie. But in general, they do not know how to speak to men. They don't know what men want to see, and they keep just doubling down on the nonsense that is, frankly, it's repellent. It's not even unappealing. It's repellent right now. And you're going to drop a movie like this in the wake of what just happened just a few weeks ago and don't have enough common sense to at least change the release date. They are way off the reservation. This is not a good look for Hollywood. And if you're going to try to force, this into being an award season darling, good luck with that. People are already kind of tired of watching these guys pat themselves in the back. So if you're going to have a movie that no one's interested in, if they saw it, they most certainly aren't talking about it. And the only people who seem to be making a big hoopla of it are the paid shills and the critics who, let's be honest, no one's trusted a critic since we lost Roger Ebert. So this is it's just more of the same. So and that's going to be even bigger problems for them at some point in time. You got to learn. Everybody's tired of doing the SpongeBob meme of how many times we have to teach you this, old man. It's time to grow up and figure it out.
Kevin, I'm glad they released it, though. I really am, because it's such a failure and because it proves there's no market for this.
I see it's 2 hours and 50 minutes long. Wow. That just completely, blows my mind, because it's like, not only is nobody going, but nobody can go as often during the day as they could if it was an hour and a half.
Right. It'll shatter your morals and shatter your bladder.
I'm looking at this.
Not necessarily in that order.
There are people out there saying it might be a $135 million production price tag. We know that marketing is going to be way up there. There are some that are eyeing this at a $185 through $215 million run. That's at least Luis Fernando's.
So we called it 200. So without even seeing that, Vash, we nailed it exactly in the middle of what their projections are. Yep. If it's 200, it needs 400 to break even. It's not going to come anywhere close.
No, you can, and imagine this: $135 million production budget. Oppenheimer was $100 million back in the day, so this is extraordinarily much more expensive right there, and won't even crack maybe even a fifth of what Oppenheimer actually did, which is absolutely astounding. Look, this is a movie made for award season and not necessarily for the masses, the people who are very enthused to see this, and especially for political reasons. They don't make up a majority of the box office, sorry to say. So to give, I think the projected paycheck that Leonardo Dicaprio received for this was $20 million. That makes up a significant portion of that. To really bet it all on this, it's not going to work out, it looks like.
Right. Now,
by the way, for those who have no idea what this movie's about, I looked up the quick, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraph synopsis. Bob is a washed-up revolutionary who lives in a state of stoned paranoia. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not a character I want to identify with or care about or anything else. William Goldman, the famous screenwriter, he said some star, I forget which one, told him, I'm not the guy that things happen to. I'm the guy that makes things happen as far as which movies he should be in. So this just starts off with so many strikes against it. It makes you wonder why they bother.
Lou, and so everybody understands what this movie is, and I apologize for not saying this sooner, but we have to speak in code, because if we say what it's about,
right. That's why I haven't touched it.
Right, it adjusts the algorithm. But we've got a way around that. Folks, this is a movie that seems to celebrate anti-FA. Everybody got me there? Anti-FA. No, not the Food Administration. There's no such thing. I'm not saying it again. You all got it. Drive-by journalists, get your jumbo pencils out and figure it out, okay? You give it 5 minutes and it'll come to you. This is a movie that celebrates that. And we could sit here and talk about this, and here's the deal. There are going to be a lot of YouTube channels that want to do that. We want to go one step farther if it's okay. So ladies and gentlemen, if it's all right with you, I'd like to show you what we're saying Hollywood's in trouble, okay? Let's get to why. Okay, at the same time that they're putting out this kind of drivelous there's no point in watching it. Nobody's watching it. It's been repudiated completely. Elon Musk says, Grok will make a movie that is at least watchable before the end of next year, and a really good movies in 2027. So Elon Musk is trying to catch up. He wants to catch up with Sora. Okay? And hey, YouTube, I'm playing Sora right now, and I want you to know that none of these should be taken to be anything realistic, okay? Because, man, you even get in trouble for playing Sora stuff. Folks, this is what Sora currently looks like. Anybody can go on there. They can play around with it. You can make stuff. You got some guy who kind of looks like Stephen Hawking doing stunts at the X Games. You got Abraham Lincoln in a 1980s sitcom. You get the idea. And you can do anything with this. I'm here to tell you, I know people disagree with me. I know there are a lot of people who say, Pro, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Most of the animation studios, most of them are going to be completely altered in 5 years, because this can already make, if you were good at it, it can already make full-blown SpongeBob episodes. It can already make full-blown Bluey episodes. There's no need for these giant studios. Once you've created a product, you get 5 or 6 episodes in, you can hand it off to this 100%. So I'm not gonna
let me quibble.
Go ahead.
You can hand off all the visuals, most of the sound, but you still need a script.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yes.
You still need characters that matter to people.
More than ever.
Yeah. So, Grok may be able to make a perfectly wonderful movie, but if it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, as the saying
Lou,
goes.
you've actually pointed us absolutely into the very direction I wanted to go. Lou, let me come back to you. This is a horrible script. This is a horrible movie. I'm sure that it's stunning visually. The playing field is going to be leveled. I don't know how much it's going to cost in 3 or 4 years to make this stuff with Grok or Sora, whatever there is, Google VO, I don't know. But Lou, people across America who have really great script ideas are going to be able to transform that into entertainment. And the imagery in Sora already is so impressive. It's so amazing. I mean, it beats Hollywood right now. Hollywood that'll spend $1 million, $2 million on a couple seconds of CGI explosions and superheroes. Sora will do that in, 3 minutes for free right now. Beats Hollywood. So Lou, what is to stop other than the unions and the guilds banding together in an existential, we have to stop this? What's going to stop AI from being the tool for, independent creators out there taking over?
Well, but the point is, it will make a lot of good movies from people who have stories. It will also make very, very bad movies from people who think they have stories that suck, because it lowers the price of getting in the game, both in time and in money. So the fact that it makes it easy guarantees there'll be a lot of crap and a lot of good, or maybe less good.
90% slop, okay? Let's say how it is. 90% slop, maybe, right? But it's better than this. And Hollywood spent $200 million on this.
Well, what it's going to be is the end of the stars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The end of the celebrity ecosystem.
Tilly Norwood will be taking over the universe,
Right.
For those who don't know about Tilly.
Now I'll just tell people I have to be really careful even scrolling through Sora. Like for example, you've got MLK over there. That's a real person. The rules, there's JFK. That's there. You understand what I'm doing? I'm actually scrolling.
Yeah.
This is for educational purposes, YouTube. But there's The Price is Right over there with Drew Carey. So we'll have to come back off this. We have to be really careful.
Well, YouTube
doesn't want to
feed. I had Dave Ramsey telling me about an ED cure on my Facebook feed. At
least it was Dave Ramsey and not somebody. Yeah, at least it was Dave Ramsey.
This is all over the place, and all it's going to do is continue to make people even less trusting than they are already. If they have any sense.
Well, we're not the era, Lou. We as of last week, if there's a video online, I don't believe it now until it's verified. Like I can't. You just flat out can't. Kevin, here's the good news about it. And I don't know how, this is going to be a war between Hollywood, but Hollywood wants to put out movies that nobody wants to see. Individuals want to put out movies that are amazing, and they're going to have the tools to do so. How is that going to clash? Because already, and Lou, I don't know if you know this, I'll come back to you if you've got anything to weigh in on this one, but Kevin, the unions and the guilds have said, you get nothing from us. Because Sora, they thought that they were going to be able to do, these characters and companies would want to opt in. And Hollywood said, no to everything. We want nothing to do with this. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Oh, it's a terrible idea. This is a classic case of hubris. The Hollywood made a dreadful decision here, poor judgment. And we're seeing the genesis of what we've talked about on this show a couple of times. The YouTube creator, especially the really talented ones, they bring an element of authenticity that people love. So now you're going to get really creative people flooding into the field to kind of get their voices out there. And sure, 90% of it's going to be slop. We know that, but guess what? When you go to the movies, 95% of what you're paying to see in the movies is slop. So it's 6 to 1, a half a dozen to another.
When you go to your local art gallery, 90% of it's slop. But you go because 10% of it might be amazing. By the way, we can't play this stuff because nobody knows the rules right now. I don't know what YouTube does if you play this to explain to people what we're seeing. So I'm gonna still frame this. This is something somebody made where Mario, a CGI yet somehow still photorealistic Mario, takes off from the cops in a pursuit in his Mario Kart.
Oh,
and
Mario
it's photorealistic.
As OJ, is that the idea?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
It's interesting because the Hollywood landscape, apparently, according to like Ridley Scott, for example, he's thinking, it's all crap. to put it lightly, he used some other phraseology. Somebody's going to make it not be crap. Eventually, that's going to happen. Exactly.
All you need is one person.
That's right.
You're going to have a lot of people who get into this game and maybe perhaps produce some stuff that's legitimate, like that's cinematic quality and has a great script, a great story. People want to see it, and people really take to it. And I think that's the pressure that Hollywood's facing right now.
But
go ahead.
The gatekeeper is going to be distribution.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to distribute it online and make some money, swell. But if you have to go through the movie theaters, will the studios want to let that grip loose?
Here's the interesting thing about that, Lou. So the movie theaters are sitting here with one battle after another. Okay, if I'm a movie theater and I gotta play this crap and I gotta lose on it, but I got this guy over here on YouTube and I can take him for just about every penny. Man, I'm going to get a 90% because he's just desperate to get in my cinema. I bet if that guy can make a new K-pop Demon Hunters, I want his money. Please give me that wonderful money. That's what I'm saying. Sure. If I'm AMC.
And by the way, look at how technology has made this possible. Not just with Sora and whatever, digital projection. Once upon a time, if you did this, you would have to then find a way, for a great expense, by the way, to get it printed on film. Now, nope. Not at all.
Well, I said that's the secret. That's the part that no one's really talking about is the movie theater owners. They're the ones who are suffering for Hollywood's terrible decisions. there's only but so high you can jack up the price of popcorn, and so there's only but so much booze and food you can shove down people's throats, and there's but so many seats you can put into a movie theater. Without something to pull me in, the movie theater experience is meaningless, especially if the movie is a dud or if it's really a good movie. All you have to do is wait a few weeks and it's going to be out on digital.
Okay. Let me add something, Kevin. Let me add something to you while you continue. The other thing about the movie theater, why do you go to the theater? Sometimes it's the spectacle. That's what Hollywood bought into, was how do we make the blockbuster be something that's must see at the cinema? Big explosions, CGI like you can't believe. Sora or Google VO or whatever comes out next week that's 5 times better than what we have today, because that's how it's going right now. That thing can produce visuals that destroy Hollywood in 3 minutes at the tips of a teenager's, fingers in class when they've got some extra time.
There's one more economic factor in this that we haven't talked about that is important. When we say, well, it cost X and it has to make Y because of the cost of promoting it. Well, if the studio didn't make it, if Joe in his basement made it, and AMC decides they like it enough to put it out there, who's going to pay for the ads? Answer, AMC will have to. So suddenly it's going to switch as far as who's buying the publicity. So they're really going to have confidence in it to lay out that extra cash to open the show.
But for Joe in his basement, AMC can say, we're taking 90-10.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're taking 90-10. We're not taking any risk. And you're just happy to be here. Vash, wrap us up, buddy.
And Pro, you mentioned animation. Animation is already changing, like with Twins Hinahima, for example. The first, original anime, it's 95% AI. Some people have disputed that, but that was back in March. So one can only imagine where the next implementation of Sora actually takes us, where this stuff gets, really polished, really redefined. And I think it's going to redefine the entire industry when it comes to Hollywood. It's the distribution, I would say, of reference talent and artistry put in the hands of, the ordinary average Joe. And with those tools, with these new concepts, they're going to be able to produce some amazing stuff. A lot of it's slop, but some of it might actually break through. I mean, we've seen that with the Sasquatch meme or whatever. I think I've seen that referenced in actual commercials. So, this stuff is
Vash,
evolving quickly.
Here's the deal too, okay? If I'm Disney and I've got Pixar, and Pixar costs me bukus of money,
right.
Okay?
Right.
Pixar, when they bring out Toy Story 5 or they bring out Incredibles 3, Pixar is not competing with Sora 2. Pixar is competing with Sora 5. And Sora 2 is like 50 times better than the first Sora. So I don't know what Sora 5 is like, but if I'm a Disney executive, I have to justify Pixar facing whatever AI is capable of in 5 years for pennies compared to what Pixar costs. Everybody in animation needs to be prepared for a complete and total paradigm shift. Everybody in Hollywood. And Hollywood is so far adrift, giving us nonsense crap movies that actually offend Americans at a time when what does Hollywood need to do? Hollywood needs friends, because they are looking at the iceberg, and they are instead of pushing away, they're like, you know what? Hold my beer. Let's see how hard we can crash into that thing. That's Hollywood today. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.